Good afternoon, this is Jen. I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker for the Tableau Fringe Festival. We have up our very own leader, founder, and co-organizer, Emily. Emily, I know from her podcast, the Tableau Wannabe podcast, and her love for sharing data visualizations and learnings with the community. She is also a leader of the government tag as well. And she does in her spare time mentoring others and speaking and blogging about her fitness challenges. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Emily, where she's going to be talking about some of the themes that really came up today, which are learning from others, how do you learn from others, and then who can we lean on? So I'm really excited to hear Emily's talk. So Emily, have fun.
Thank you. All right, so I'll go ahead and share my screen. And just hang tight here while we make the little switcheroo. So thank you so much for attending today's TFF. I'm really excited to talk about a topic that I am passionate about. So I want to talk about this guy. Whoa. And he just went by the wayside there. I want to talk about Andy Stanley, who, oh, and now I'm having technical difficulties. Let's start this again. So we're going to talk about Andy Stanley, but I want to hear from Andy in his own words. I heard from him in LeaderCast 2014 about a concept called emptying your cup.
Third idea, we'll hit this real quick. The third idea is something we call in our organization, empty your cup. Here's what I mean by that. I don't have everything it would take to fill your cup in terms of your leadership ability, what you need to know, your skill set. There's not enough in me to fill your cup. But my responsibility isn't to fill anybody's cup, we say in our organization. We say in our organization, our responsibility is to empty our cup. Our responsibility is to find ways to pour into the people around us what we do know, not because it's all there is to know, but because it's all we know. It's all I know. So we look for opportunities, and we use this terminology all the time. What can I do to fill their cup? Now, I'm not going to tell them everything they need to know. They're already smarter than me. They read more than me. They're better educated than me. But I want to make sure while they're working with me, while we're working together, at some point, I have an opportunity to empty my cup so that when they go on to whatever they do or whatever they continue to do in this organization, they will have the advantage of knowing everything I know about what I've asked them to do. One of the most empowering things you can do as a Beyond You leader is to look for opportunities to empty your cup. And here's the thing. I learned this the hard way by encouraging our younger staff to do this. You are smarter than you think. You know more than you think you know. You are not as behind as you may feel like you are behind. You have something to offer. And sometimes it's as simple as sending an email out with an article you read and say, hey, I just read this article, thought you might enjoy reading this. I'm just giving you, I'm passing on to you something that's helped me. Here's a book I've read. Every once in a while, I'll get, 3 or 4 or 5 of our middle management kind of people who don't report to me, people who never spend time with me, but people who I think are really sharp leaders, men and women who I think, gosh, so glad they're in this organization. I want to make sure they know what I know about something. And I'll say, hey, I want us to spend a few weeks together and go through a book together. Hey, I want us to meet for breakfast for 3 or 4 or 5 Thursday mornings or every other Thursday morning. And I want you guys to come up with 3 questions and we'll meet. There's no agenda. You set the questions. I'll answer the questions. I buy breakfast. It's just an opportunity to make sure I'm not going to fill their cup. It's not even my responsibility. I'm looking for a way to empty mine. The guy that did this for me years ago is a guy named Charlie Renfro. Charlie had an outdoor business, very successful guy. He just saw something in me in my late 20s and said, Andy, let's have breakfast. And so that began at every other Tuesday morning breakfast that went on for years. And I'll tell you what, Charlie would walk in, he'd be in a suit, he'd have cufflinks, he was all decked out, he was very successful in his cool BMW that, back when, there weren't even that many in the city of Atlanta, it didn't seem like. He just had it all going on. He'd walk into the original House of Pancakes, and I was working for my dad, really didn't know what I was going to do with my life, and Charlie would sit down, and he'd come in and say hello to everybody in the restaurant. I'd get there early because I got my questions, He'd sit down, and he'd smack this big old gold ring on the table, and he'd say, Andy, what you working on big? What you working on big? Like, nothing. I know nothing. And I'm thinking, okay, like big in my world is I took 40 kids to Six Flags and I got them all home safely. Is that big? You know, he's on his way to New York to do battle with the bankers because his company's upside down and he's talking about things I don't even understand. What you working on big, Andy? Come on, what you working on big? Like nothing. A week after week after week, Charlie sits down and asks me that question. It finally dawned on me. Charlie thinks I can work on big stuff. Charlie thinks my life is the kind of life that maybe one day have responsibility for the big stuff. Charlie's still a dear friend of mine after 25, 26 years. And every once in a while, when we're doing something big, we're raising a bunch of money or giving away millions of dollars for stuff or building a new building, I'll get a text from Charlie. He'll say, now that's big.
So I thought that was really powerful. And so today, I just want to talk a little bit about, kind of how this relates to data viz and Tableau. I want to talk about the importance of mentoring and leadership in the Tableau community. So as Jen discussed or introduced to me, I love talking about mentoring, and I'm also a certified life coach, behavior change coach, and certified leadership facilitator. So this is something that I truly love. So when we look at leadership, from the school of leadership that I was taught, there's really two aspects: development and productivity. And so, I think that throughout today's TFF, you've hopefully learned some skills that will help you be more productive in your work. So I'm going to focus on the information, I'm going to focus on ways to help develop yourself and others, and how you can empty your cup, how you can empty your cup. So first I want to talk about sponsorship, which is really more in the workplace. And that's a formalized program where a sponsor is vested in helping a person learning to succeed. It might be part of their job responsibilities. Now, mentoring is, you might know it from another name, such as like coaching or being somebody's buddy. In this context, mentoring is informal in that neither person is really formally responsible for the person's success. But I submit to you that we need mentors to answer those questions that we might perceive as dumb or silly or maybe embarrassing. And it takes a lot of courage sometimes to start that conversation. So I really see two categories of mentoring. One is the more one-on-one mentoring relationship, while the other I'll categorize as general and maybe some ad hoc mentoring as well. So for those one-on-one mentoring relationships, I say we need a bond, genuine bond. We need a genuine relationship is so key. You need trust. You need a safe place to talk, and it's much easier to have that conversation with somebody who you have a really good relationship with than a superficial one. I had somebody cold call me one time to be their one-on-one mentor. I didn't know the person at all, and while I loved mentoring about the particular topic, it just really, we didn't click, and therefore the mentoring relationship was not successful. There just was no rapport. And while I think mentors love helping others and love emptying their cup, we also don't want to feel used. So that's why I say relationships are critical. As a mentor with a solid relationship, I'm willing to go above and beyond, as all mentors are, we're willing to talk when we're super busy, to reprioritize our work to help you, because we want to see you succeed, because we know you. We're vested in this relationship. You also have to be committed. This is just another key aspect of mentoring. You need to show up and keep your commitments, both on the mentor and the mentee side. I've experienced, and I've also heard this from other mentors, that one of the worst things is when a mentee isn't committed to it. They forget meetings, or they don't do the homework on a routine basis. Individually, our times are valuable, and so we want to spend the time usefully. Both people need to show up. But I really want to challenge you. I love blogging, and I think it's a great way to share information, but I see it as really a passive approach to mentoring. But sometimes we need people to talk to have that personal connection. So I want to challenge the members of the Tableau community. How are you actively mentoring someone? Are you doing calls, hangouts? Are you meeting up and talking about any questions? How are you sharing your knowledge? One of the ways that, as I thought about mentoring and growth in the Tableau community, I really think it's almost impossible now to find those hidden gems in the Tableau community unless they're out there in the social space or they happen to be highlighted through events like this or other blogs, which is why I would like to have just another mechanism for people to connect with each other. In the form, which I've just screenshot here, as well as provided a link, you'll see a place to provide more information about you so that potential mentees and mentors can connect with somebody with similar interests or similar skill sets. There'll also be a data viz at the end of the month to be able to search easily for this. So whether you use this form or the forums or your followers, my hope is that you'll make the connection so that community members can improve, be productive, and give back so that they can empty their cups into someone else's. So we've talked about, I've talked about what mentoring is. I shared why I believe we need it. So if I could leave you with 3 reasons to mentor someone, it would be these. I believe it's our civic responsibility. We, as members of this Tableau community, to help others. I believe in helping others, we have better quality products at work and in the public space. And we all see the visualizations online that we cringe at because just somebody doesn't know better. And so that's our opportunity. Woo. And really, it's an opportunity to exert influence, which I think is long lasting. And we've seen that today in Makeover Monday and through some of the discussions that people have talked about that they've had with the Zen Masters. I think it's just so powerful when somebody says, because of you, I was able to. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen about mentoring in Tableau. And if you're already mentoring, thank you. And if not, I challenge you to begin. As Andy Stanley stated in his talk, you are smarter than you think, you know more than you think, you have something to offer. And I say to you, now is your time to share what you know and to empty your cup. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emily, for that talk. I can definitely see your passion and it comes through. There is a question in the forums about how can people get assigned to a mentor?
Great. So, so there's, with the mentoring form that I'll tweet the link out, it'll also be a part of the presentation and then will become part of a visualization. So you'll enter your information into the form, we'll do a viz about it, and then in the viz you'll be able to contact someone where you'll be able to see what their skill set is, and whether they want to be mentored or menteed. And so it's really just a mechanism to connect people. And then how that relationship develops is really up to the individuals.
That's a very great initiative you have coming. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so I see some of the questions here. Can mentoring be a short-term thing or is it a long-term thing? So yes, it's both. It depends, Matt Francis. It depends. It really can. It can be a short-term thing, and it can be long-term. And the other point, which I actually forgot to make, but it's really one of my favorites, is that you can have mentors for different aspects. So in a work setting, I have a mentor for career development, but I also have a mentor for a very technical skill. So in this space, you could have a mentor for understanding how Tableau works under the hood, or maybe some table calculations, and you want to use Jonathan Drummy for that. But for just design and dashboarding, maybe you want to use Brick Kava for that. And so it really depends on what the need is, and then how that relationship forms. And so that can be a very short thing, or it can be longer. And that was not a cop-out answer, Matt. All right, let's see. I'm going to scroll through really quickly here to see if I've missed any other questions. Okay. I think that that's about it. You know, obviously, I love this stuff. So if you have any questions about mentoring or ways that you can show your leadership, I mean, there are so many leadership opportunities in Tableau. It's just ridiculous. You know, please feel free to reach out to me because I love it. So if there are no other questions, Jen, I can toss it over to you to close TFF16 out.
Great. Yes, and so I will start with the first thank you to Emily, and I will also say thank you to myself. We've had some great compliments, and thank you all from the community. So I want to say a little bit about the Tableau Fringe Festival from my notes, and I'm going to work on my storytelling as this goes along as well. All right, so we started out Tableau Fringe Festival with Alex Duke, and she was our key opener. She talks about finding your passion, that there is a lot out there in the community, and she went through a lot of the community posts and events and shared some of that with us. But really, a message that I got from that was don't forget about yourself, and to always keep learning in that message, to not forget about yourself. We're very good, as we've seen in the community via Josh Tapley's quantified self, that we have a lot of active people in the community and they give back. So continue to learn yourself. That's really important. We saw a lot of good interaction on the Women Plus Data panel, from the chats, on Twitter. So thank you all to Paul, Emily, Chloe, Britt, and a couple other women that I'm currently not saying right now, Alex, and we'll get a couple others mentioned as well as we have. So thank you all, and Paul, good job monitoring all of the women. Not that they needed, but definitely good for keeping the conversation going. And I know that that's something that you've had yourself with the other Paul in your tug as well. So keep having that conversation. And we really urge people to, get involved, and that's been a big message there. We saw Jeremy talking about his Tableau public journey, some tips and tricks. Myself went into talking about what that really means for stepping into a Tableau role and some interview toolkits. We next moved on to Michael in our Phoenix Tug. So lots of good participation that he has and good learnings that he passed along to all of us. So thank you. Wow, Caesar and Aaron really stole the show there with our Center of Excellence. So good job, guys. Continue to spread the word about what being excellent in the way of running a Tableau as a service and providing those training opportunities. So good stuff. We went on to more of a technical afternoon after talking about the community, and we went into some scatter plots, trend lines, control charts. Wasim really wowed us with his stats. And Ravi with his beauty of iteration, really talking about that data exploration, going through that agile process that Tableau allows us to have. And we saw some tips and tricks out of the box formatting through Steve, and wow, those were tips and tricks. So I know that we all walked away with some good ahas and wows and awesomes there. So we have a lot to look forward to. And as Nico said, when he went from zero to hero, it's really about plug and play and really trying out Tableau. So good job there, Nico. And Emily, I'm going to pour my cup out so that others can have their cup filled up and continue to do that. So thank you for all that you do and to the community. The reason why I stepped up to do this is because you all inspire me. And so this is the Tableau Fringe Festival, from the community, for the community. Now, I think that Emily has some exciting announcements about what's to come for Tableau Fringe Festival. So I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I do. I am so super excited. It's like an insane level. I realize that, you know, this is just a small little fringe festival, but I really love that we get some really fantastic participation in the community, and but the timing just is not great for a lot of people around the globe. So to that end, I'd like to make just this really small announcement. Well, no, it's kind of a big announcement for TFF, in that Fee Gordon and I will be co-organizing TFF for APAC. And so we are aiming for early October, so before Data 16. And I am so super excited that Fee decided to join on to help organize TFF APAC. So we will be opening up applications, reaching out to folks to speak, and really starting that process so that we can have another conference to reach out to APAC. And for those who wanted to participate in TFF16 but didn't get their applications in time, this is another opportunity for the APAC region to really hear and participate. So that's our special announcement. I'm looking forward to it. You will be tweeting out and sending out links to speaker applications, so stay tuned for that. And thank you in advance for Fee for stepping up. And I cannot, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Jen, Vaughan, oh, and there's Chris, for all of your help with TFF this year. It's just been fantastic, and I am just so excited to see this grow. Thank you so much, Jen. And there's Paul. All right.
Yes, this has been wonderful. And I know that there was some chat in the box about meeting up at the Tableau Customer Conference. So we'll get something together, and I'm sure there'll be information about that too.
Yes. All right. Thank you to all of our panelists and presenters again. It was just fantastic. Yes, everybody deserves a round of applause for those on Twitter and in the chat. That has just been great. Thank you, Tableau, for your technology support. Just tremendous. Just as a reminder, the videos will be up in approximately 1 week, and we're going to try to get those pre-recorded sessions out sooner so that you have some opportunity to review those. So thank you all, and I think that that's a wrap. I'm going to say from the podcast, good day and good biz. Take care, everyone.